Why don't we start off the show right off the bat with a headline from CNN? Why not, right? It typifies the left's delusional and out-of-touch reaction to the Rittenhouse not guilty verdict. Here it is, and I quote, "There is nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man." Of course, the author of that piece is talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, a case that never should have been about race, but thanks to the media, it still absolutely is. The headline should be, "There is nothing more frightening than 3 armed men trying to attack you." That's what Kyle faced, and the left ignores it. Which brings us to this horrific Waukesha massacre. The man accused of mowing down parade goers happens to be black. His victims are nearly all white. He has a prolific, violent criminal history.
A lone subject intentionally drove his maroon SUV through barricades into a crowd of people that was celebrating the Waukesha Christmas parade. There is no evidence that this is a terrorist incident.
So, intentionally drove through the crowd, no evidence it's a terrorist incident. Well, not a terror attack. Why not? Do you remember Charlottesville? Of course you do. The left made a huge deal out of it, as well they should in many respects. A bad, racist white dude killed 1 person, injured 35 others during his car attack, and the media instantly labeled it a domestic terror attack. Neither Charlottesville or Waukesha actually fits my definition of a terror attack, but for the media, why doesn't Waukesha meet their own standard here? This attack left 5 people dead and 48 injured. This attack is worse, but we know it doesn't fit the leftist narrative. I don't know if his feelings had anything to do with this attack. Now, you would think, though, that the media would ask police about the suspect's background there, his rap songs, his BLM love. Here is what we know. On November 5th, cops charged him with resisting arrest, felony bail jumping, along with charges surrounding domestic abuse. Yet on Friday, a judge released him on $1,000 bail. Think about this. January 6 protesters are still rotting behind bars, and they let this guy go? This liberal, weak-on-crime judge responsible, there are plenty of them out there, all of them are culpable. They have blood on their hands, and yet I didn't hear one member of the media ask if the Waukesha attack was racially motivated. Not one brought up the suspect's rap videos in support of BLM. Now, again, I can't tell you if that's what motivated this attack. We just don't know. But it is certainly a legitimate question.
I want to dispel some rumors. There is no pursuit that led up to this incident. This is not a terrorist event. At this time, the Waukesha Police Department is referring 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide with additional charges based on the investigation.
Again, lots of talk about what he's charged with, and they made it clear, not a terrorist attack. Fine, but they should have done the same thing with Charlottesville too, but it's a double standard. You watch. This case will disappear. It will fade away because the driver wasn't a red hat wearing Trump supporter. He was a dreadlock supporting BLM sympathizer. Now, you can't have that if you're in the mainstream media, so instead, ignore this attack and watch the media continue to put all its focus back on Kyle Rittenhouse, continuing to push him as a racist with zero evidence to support that claim, and I mean zero. So instead of the media issuing an apology for its deceitful coverage of the Rittenhouse case, it in fact doubles down on its deceit over the weekend, offering up more lies. Listen to Mark Strassman of CBS News. He's supposed to be a newsman.
Rittenhouse drove in from Illinois armed for battle. He knew outrage already ran high.
Armed for battle, he says. Well, we know that's simply not true. Kyle was not armed before arriving in Wisconsin. Those are media lies. After the trial, after all the evidence is out, they know it's a lie. And the trial proved he was the victim of an attack. He didn't provoke anything, and yet the media turned this case of a white kid who killed 2 of his white attackers into somehow a case of white supremacy. Which brings us back to that original CNN headline. There is nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man. Now, I want you to think about this. Imagine if I declared there is nothing more frightening in America today than an angry black man when referring to the Waukesha suspect. Now, I would be eviscerated by the mainstream media, and rightly so. I should be. I would never declare something like that. But what it proves here is the racial double standard the fake news media wants us to live by for one reason and one reason only: to divide us.